This is Top Title Sports. I am Eric Vincent. Thank you for tuning in and being here. And before we get started, just answer me one question. Who runs the NFC North? Say it with me. Detroit! Oh, can you tell I'm excited to be here today? Can you tell I'm excited and happy to be here right about now after witnessing that 34-20 beatdown? Beatdown, call it what it is. A beatdown by my Detroit Lions at Lambeau Field on the road against the Green Bay Packers, taking sole control over the NFC North in a chokehold indeed. I am so damn happy to be here after a victory like that. Lions needed this win. They needed it. They played their best football. They absolutely came to play. They made a statement that all of the league can notice. That all the league can put notice on, because the Lions did their thing. They played with heart. They played with a purpose. They played with a statement. They played motivated from start to finish. And I can't be more happy than what they did today, man. They literally needed this game. They needed a game where they established a true identity. And it went exactly like I thought it was going to go. This was a game that I thought the Lions needed to win in the trenches. Because honestly, if you look at the way they play, that's the strength of this franchise. Their strength is through the trenches, on the offensive line and the D-line. When the offensive line is playing at their apex, they're one of the best in all of football. And when they're able to protect Jared Goff, when they're able to create running lanes for David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, you see what they're able to do. 211 rushing yards for this Detroit Lions football team today. 211! On the ground. 121 came from Monty. He touched the ball 32 times, got 3 touchdowns, gave me 34 points in fantasy football. I appreciate you, big dog. Man, coming back from an injury, that thigh bruise that he had to deal with, Taylor Decker comes back into the lineup as well to shore up that offensive line. And they came to play today. Again, they won in the trenches. They wore down the defense of the Green Bay Packers. They stayed hungry. They stayed physical. Monty kept running harder and harder as the game went on. And it just wore down on Green Bay after a while. They said no mas. And you took their heart out early by building up such a strong lead in the first half with this dominant play of this offense. Being able to move the ball effectively in the run game. Outside of that horrendous pick by Jared Goff in the opening possession, he played a pretty good game as well. I mean, he was able to spread the ball around, got about 200-some yards, a nice little pop touchdown to Amon-Ra St. Brown to the left side of the end zone. The Lions did what they needed to do to stay effective, to stay efficient. They kept Goff clean for the most part. Again, outside of that one turnover to open up the game, they were clean for the most part. When you can play that effective, and when you can score 34 points and keep your opponent to a minimal on defense, where they didn't score a touchdown in the first half, where they didn't muster, if I'm not mistaken, more than 5 total yards of offense in the first quarter alone, where their crowd is literally cheering sarcastically because they're getting positive gain yards. It's hilarious. It was hilarious watching that on TV. I was laughing my head off the whole time. This defense absolutely came to play. The same defense y'all said Aaron Glenn needs to be fired and released from. And he's out here swinging, keeping this defense creative, making them play hungry, making them play ferocious, making them capitalize in their strengths. And you can see how effective they are. And again, it starts within the trenches. When that D-line is playing the way that they played today, what happens? You get quarterback hits. You sack the quarterback. 5 sacks against Jordan Love today. Hutch had a sack and a half. McNeil had one. Charles Harris had one. Buggs had one. They were all over the place. I know I'm forgetting one more. I think Derek Barnes might have had one as well. The Lions were all over him. They made Jared Love look like the inexperienced quarterback that he is. He wasn't even able to lead on his running game, which is the strength of that Packers offense. It's Aaron Jones in that run game. But with that dismantled offensive line that they were playing behind and playing with a lead, playing behind with a deficit, they weren't able to lead on that run game. They had to come out and get desperate and tell Jordan Love to throw the ball more times than he would be comfortable doing. And it didn't work to their advantage at all. They couldn't run the football, kept them to 27 yards total rushing. You turn Jordan Love over twice with 2 interceptions, 2 picks to Jerry Jacobs. Even when he was getting picked on some plays, he made up for it by making the plays that the Lions needed at the most opportune time. He came up big. D-line came up big. Cam Sutton looks awesome. He was playing really well. Brian Branch was making some plays before he got hurt twice. Unfortunately, he was able to come back from the first injury, which looked like it might have been an Achilles injury, but the reports were it was just an ankle turn, and he was able to tape it up and come back on the field. So that was very encouraging. Unfortunately, he did get hurt again, but at that point, the Lions didn't need him. And now at this point, they're going to have extra time to rest him on top of all the other names that are still hurt. Kirby Joseph's going to get extra time to rest now. Emmanuel Moses is going to get extra time to rest. Taylor Decker gets more time to rest. Montgomery gets more time to rest. That's huge for this team at this point. They are building the perfect wave of momentum right now, and they're doing it with complementary football on both sides of the ball. It's not just the offense carrying the defense. It's not just the defense carrying the offense. It's special teams getting involved as well. It's the coaching staff not beating themselves. They're making smart plays, smart calls, even though some of them weren't great by Dan Campbell tonight, but none of them are worth ranting about and going crazy about. You were able to go home with a double-digit lead on the road against your biggest division rival. They came into this game 2-1, same record as the Detroit Lions. Now the Lions are 3-1. They're 2-2. They're 2-2. You now hold the tiebreaker on them, and you beat them in their house. You took advantage of the weather conditions, because normally when the Lions gotta go to Lambeau, it's freezing. What do they call it? The frozen tundra. And you took advantage of playing them in September, and you put them in a chokehold in their own arena. It was fantastic. It was so damn cool seeing all that blue inside of Lambeau today. It was so damn cool hearing "Let's Go Lion" chants take over through the broadcast of the game through the whole second half. It was so damn funny to hear the crowd boo at halftime and hear their frustration as the Lions put them in desperation mode in the first half. That's not Detroit Lions football that we used to. But we need to start getting used to it, because this looks like it's for real. This looks like it's going to be something that we can get used to. As long as these guys stay healthy, as long as they're not beating themselves, as long as they're not playing down to their competition, the Lions, I think, can play against anybody. You stood toe-to-toe with the defending champs. You stood toe-to-toe with an up-and-coming team like the Atlanta Falcons. You stood toe-to-toe against a division rival that was just as hungry as you, but not as experienced and not as prepared. And the Lions showed that with this victory today. I'm so damn proud of what they did today. 34-20 final score. Lions took care of business, and they're going in now to next week with so much momentum. They get the Panthers at home, then they go play the Buccaneers on the road. These are two bad teams in my opinion, and you're building up this momentum in the perfect way right now. Because guess what? The Lions still got Jameson Williams coming up after these next two games. You could be going into the return of Jameson Williams with a 5-1 record, with control of the NFC North, with all the momentum you need in the NFC in that conference, and you're about to be at full strength offensively to then complement that defense that's ascending right now. I am so proud and so happy with what this coaching staff, with what these players are doing. Everything came out right today for this team. It wasn't perfect, but it was convincing. It was a statement victory that let the division know, that let the league know that the Detroit Lions are for real. Y'all better brace yourself. It's going to be a long season here, and I can't wait to embrace it all. Talk to me in the comment section, though. I'd love to hear your feedback. Lions fans, hit me up. I want to hear from you. What were your thoughts about the victory today against the Packers? Packers fans, if you find your way over to this video, too, I'd love to hear from you. because we didn't hear much from you and Lambo in the game today. So why don't you talk to me in the comment section instead? Holla at me. I'd love to hear from you. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, talk your trash. I want to hear from you, man. This is a game that we should be talking about for a while, that we should be excited about for a while. This is another game, won on Thursday. We can now go into Sunday, kick our feet up, and just enjoy the rest of the NFL with no worries. This is what NFL football is supposed to look like, and it feels damn good on this side as a Detroit Lions fan. Thank you for being here and tuning in on Top Title Sports. Again, I am Eric Vincent, and I'll see you again soon on the next video. Peace!